Before we get into today's mailbag, if you are unable to watch our live shows, your question does not get answered, you can always hit me up on Twitter. My DMs are open at WhatGoingDowney, so slide on in there. Just don't be weird, and hit me up with any and all of your NFL questions. Infamous SM, any truth to the Stafford and Vikings rumors? If they trade Kupp, might as well fully commit to the rebuild. Hashtag Cam Ward season. Whatever QB Sean McVay gets, I think will end up being pretty decent, as long as it's not like a Stetson Bennett day 3 pick. As for Stafford Vikings, I know the reports you are referring to. Our Vikings channel, Patrick Seatman, kind of broke that down more in depth. Feel free to check it out. As of Tuesday, when we're filming this, that does not pass the smell test to me. Now, I could see a scenario this time next year that Matthew Stafford is not on the Rams. But I think they can better maximize their hypothetical trade return by waiting until after this season. The report in question does not have a very good track record, doesn't have a very good history. A lot of misses on that one. So you kind of lose me when your argument is, well, I'm not a newsbreaker, but if I see info, I'll share it as a response to, are you credible? That tells me you're not. So I don't buy it. Be fun if I'm wrong, though. EV, should Tampa trade for John Metchie or Jahan Dotson? Jahan Dotson just might not be very good. I think the Commanders won that trade. I think that's kind of clear right now, at least what we've seen so far in Philly. John Metchie's intriguing, though, because it's a younger player who's kind of buried in Houston. I think Metchie could be a fun trade acquisition for somebody like Tampa. Asher Bowman, how about Maxx Crosby to the Lions? Send him home. He did play at Eastern Michigan, so not that far away, I suppose. Really not far at all. I don't think the Raiders would do that. Like, Maxx Crosby is too important to them. He is the heart and soul of that team. I get things are bad and frustrating in Vegas. Man, if you trade away Maxx Crosby, short of him going up to Al Davis or Mark Davis saying, F you, pay me, and doing something bad to the grave of Al Davis, like I don't think that would happen. I think that is a too important part for this current Raiders team to really give it much consideration. So will the Raiders, you can be honest here with me, trade Maxx Crosby? Y for yes, N for no. You can let me know at the pinned comment of today's video. The ad comes here on YouTube. Great. Take advantage of it. Head down there. Y for yes, N for no. Junior Estrada, why hasn't Javon Baker been playing for the Patriots? Yeah, he's got, 6 snaps so far this season? It's a very small sample size for me to make any, sweeping statements. But given how much the Patriots have been playing not good receivers, I wonder if they just want to go with the more experienced ones. Does playing guys like KJ Osborne really benefit you? I kind of don't think so. I would like to see them play Jalen Polk more as soon as he fixes his damn drop issues. Not to make it about not Javon Baker there, but he didn't drop passes really at all in at Washington, and he kind of just had dropped some ugly ones so far this year. I'm at the point where you should play your young guys. I don't know if Pop Douglas counts in that category. If so, fine. But I kind of want to see what I have at receiver because I don't think Kayshon Boutte's going to be a long-term piece for you, even if he's playing maybe among your better receivers. I would like to play your young guys and give them chemistry and time together with Drake May. But it might be a practice issue too. Might not be ready yet. Colso Sporty. Should the Saints be buyers or sellers at the NFL trade deadline? They are currently 2-5 and look out of the playoffs. Here's the tricky bit that you end up getting yourself into when you start talking about buyers and sellers with coaches on the hot seat. I think it makes a ton of sense for the Saints to shop players like Jamal Williams. I doubt it, and Alvin Kamara. A Chase Young would be a great trade for them because he's on a 1-year deal. Get an asset for him, whatever. Trading away your older veteran guys because you're not that good this year. But if you do that, you're signing the pink slip for Dennis Allen. He's getting fired. So the coach doesn't want to do that. GM might say, it doesn't matter. I got to do what's best for my organization long term, and that sucks for the head coach. Sydney, speaking of the Saints, Chris Olave trade. I think it'd be pretty dumb by New Orleans. Rashid Shaheed has been a really fun piece for them. I want to re-sign him. Bub Means, Mason Tipton, and Cedric Wilson Jr. You're going to trot those three guys out? Hell no. Chris Olave is a long-term part of my team. Like, I'm paying him. So I don't think it makes any sense for the Saints to trade away. Like, trade at old guys? Yes. You get a call for even DeMario Davis? Okay, sure. I can see that. Maybe you want to trade Marshawn Lattimore. But a guy that should be here 5 years from now, like Chris Olave, expensive, yes? No. Because guess what happens if you trade away like a guy like Chris Olave? You have to go spend that first-round pick you got for him on a receiver. I don't think that makes much sense. So name a player who you want to see traded. Let me know in the comments section of today's show. Drop that player name or names if you're an overachiever. Dan, what is the Bears' floor and ceiling for this season and the next? Look, the ceiling next year is, if this continues, is pretty damn high. We've seen that second-year jump or second healthy year jump from teams like the Bengals and Joe Burrow, right, where they take that massive step forward and make a Super Bowl run. The floor this year is they fall apart offensively, their injuries, whatever, and they win like 6 or 7 games, and that's like the nightmare floor, right? I think the midway floor is they should be in playoff contention until the end of the season. I don't know if they'll make it. The NFC North is so tough that they can win a bunch of their other games and still only win 9 games. I think they should be a fringe playoff team this year, make it to the postseason. If they draw the Commanders or the Seahawks, or whoever wins the NFC West, if not the 49ers, they can win that game. So they can be a lower-end playoff team that wins a road game. I don't think Super Bowl is quite there yet, though. Now, you can get the Caleb Williams jersey or the rookie jersey for your favorite NFL player over at chatsports.com/NFL jersey. A long list of player jerseys are available over there. Your favorite teams, players, search, filter, whatever you want to figure out what jersey exactly you want. Go get yours today. chatsports.com/NFL jersey. Link will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. Twisted Wizard 33. Do you see the Giants moving on from Sexy Dexy? I don't see that happening. And a huge reason why is he's too good. Like, you don't trade away that type of player, that type of asset. That is the guy who's leading the NFL in sacks and double team rate. Doesn't happen in football outside of Aaron Donald. Like, the Giants are not a good team right now. I know that. I will keep Dexter Lawrence. They'll probably have a high enough pick to get a quarterback anyway in the draft. I am keeping Dexter Lawrence because I think he is too good to justify trading at this time. Speaking of the Giants, with a decent answer for this question, who ends up with the number 1 pick in the 2025 NFL Draft? Drop that team name for me in the comment section of today's show. Who do you think ends up with that top pick? Richard Iacocco, NASCAR fan 24. Will the Bears trade for Myles Garrett or Maxx Crosby? I don't think so. I do think another edge is an area of focal point. I like Montez Sweat. You need more. You can ship out Dominique Robinson as part of the trade, I suppose. But I don't think that those teams, the Raiders, Browns, are going to trade those guys. Now, if you want to call about Zadarius Smith in Cleveland, that's a name I do think you could end up finding and getting an asset for. Shotgunna, do you see the Packers trading away Christian Watson? I don't think so. Watson's kind of a weird test case of, hey, he's been good when healthy, he's not healthy. And those guys almost always have higher internal trade value than external trade value, because what are you going to get for him when you don't trust the health, right? So I'm intrigued by Watson. I like what I've seen from Dubs and Reed and Wicks. Like, I think that rotation of receivers is valuable. For the time being, no. Can check in again maybe a year from now, though. Now, if you enjoy our NFL mailbags, subscribe. It's free. All you have to do is hit that sub button so you don't miss out on anything. Mark Vargo, any chance the Falcons make any more moves, possible premium rushers? You made the move for Matthew Jones. I'd be a little surprised if they went after another pass rusher. If I were to do something, I would look at corner. I think if you could find a corner, which I don't know who's really available that would be an upgrade, I'd explore that. I also wonder if you're just better off keeping your assets because you have to get some more young talent on the defense too. And I'm not sure Atlanta is in quite all-in win mode. Yes, they have Kirk Cousins. Spent a first-round pick on Michael Penix Jr. too. DC times Viper. Which NFC North team could get squeezed out of making the playoffs? I think it ends up being the Bears. And I don't mean that on a slight at all. I've been pretty impressed by what Chicago has done as of late. But I think the Lions are the best NFC team. I think the Vikings are a top 3 NFC team. I think the Packers are at least the top 4 NFC team. Because the Bears have to play those teams 6 times combined, that's 4 to 5 losses minimum probably on your schedule. And that could end up being the difference between, they could win like 6 games out of the division and come up just short. So I like where the Bears are at, except playing in the best division in football is going to make it really challenging on them. If they were in the NFC West right now, or the NFC East, or the NFC South, I think we're talking about them as a playoff team. In the NFC North, they might end up being the 8th seed and the first team left out.